Hey guys, welcome back to Basics with Babish, where this week we're taking a look at the quintessential cookie, chocolate chip. We're bumping up this basic biscuit from plain Jane to premium. Let's get down to basics. Okay, so one of the easiest ways to upgrade your cookies instantly is to brown your butter. We've got 1 cup of high quality unsalted butter here that we're heating over medium heat until we start to see the milk fats separate and turn a light toasty golden brown. You want to take it off the heat the very second that you start seeing those milk solids turn brown. You're going to burn some butter, don't worry about it, don't beat yourself up. Just when you do get a good batch, go ahead and refrigerate it for at least an hour or until completely re-solidified. We're now going to add the cold butter to the bowl of a stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, just let the butter soften up a little bit, but ideally we want to use cold butter. To that, we're going to add half a cup of plain old white sugar and 1 1/2 cups of brown sugar. You can go light or dark depending on how molassesy you like your cookies. I'm going dark. From here, it's kind of the regular cookie procedure. We are creaming together the butter and sugars, getting those guys whipped together at medium speed for 3 to 4 minutes or until thoroughly combined. And then we're going to pause to crack 2 cold eggs into the bowl and mix to combine. Once we've got that all good and homogeneous, we're going to shift our attention to the drier side of things, the dry ingredients. In a medium bowl, we are whisking together about 11.5 ounces of all-purpose flour and a solid tablespoon of kosher salt. This might seem like a lot, but hey, sweet and salty. Ever heard of it? A half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then my secret little ingredient, you can feel free to omit this, but about 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. I think this adds a nice subtle warmth to all the butter and chocolate, and it doesn't really taste cinnamony. Give it a shot, I think you'll like it. We are whisking those together until thoroughly combined before adding about half of the mixture to our wet ingredients. We're doing this in batches because just like pancakes, we don't really want to overmix the cookie dough once we've introduced flour, because that will result in gluten development, which will result in a tough cookie. Once that's combined, go ahead and add the remaining flour mixture and your desired mix-ins. I'm just starting with high-quality chocolate chips and adding the nuts later to half the batch for those non-nut folks out there. J. Kenji Lopez Alt also has an awesome technique where instead of chocolate chips, you chop up a whole block of chocolate, thereby giving you a whole bunch of different sizes and textures. Now we're going to stop mixing this guy as soon as it comes together, and again, optionally, cover and refrigerate for up to 3 days. Even as little as an hour in the fridge can make a noticeable difference in texture and color, but a few days will actually give you more pronounced flavor. Now, as you can see, I've separated half the cookie dough and I've toasted some freshly chopped walnuts that I have allowed to cool, and I'm going to mix those into the nut half of the cookie dough. Now, my last little cookie trick is inspired by La Ven Bakery here in New York. Basically, you grab a handful of your dough, roll it into a ball, and then tear it open, thus creating a whole bunch of craggly cracks and crevices, which gives you a more rustic looking cookie. And because we used butter as opposed to shortening, and because we kept everything cold, these guys are not going to lose that much of their height or definition as we bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 17 minutes, depending on how big you've made them. Now again, this is going to come down to preference. I like my cookies sort of almost like cookie dough in the center. I like them really raw. So these guys are going to deflate and they're going to stay chewy and gooey long into the foreseeable future. I'm also going to hit them with a little bit of flaky sea salt. Now, of course, taste a cookie first to make sure that you didn't oversalt it beforehand, but if it could use a little bit of an extra hit of crunchy, salty flakes, go for it. Next up, we've got our nutters. Make sure that you're keeping everything separate. You're being very careful to not share any cooking surfaces or cooling surfaces with the non-nut cookies. In fact, bake all the nut cookies second if you're concerned about anyone's nut allergies. So that's how you make Grandma Babish's down-home, country-style, brown butter chocolate chip cookies. And let me show you why we specifically engineered these to retain their height, so we keep a nice gooey center. Doesn't get much better than that. Now, I hope you guys try this recipe yourselves, and go ahead and experiment. Try using shortening instead of butter and see how it changes the texture and final appearance of the cookie. Try chilled versus unchilled ingredients. Try aging cookie dough versus unaged cookie dough. After all, can you really have too many cookies? I mean, yeah, of course you can, so enjoy responsibly. And bring a plate over to your neighbors. Who knows, maybe you guys will start dating, and maybe that's how you meet your future spouse. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you're welcome, and I'll see you at the bachelor party.